Lund Unleashed on YouTube. And for all things Unleashed, go to JohnLundUnleashed.com. Now, here's Johnny.
All right, there it is. There is the debut, and this is the debut postgame for one Jimmy Butler. Without Jimmy, they don't win it. Without Steph, those are the two stars. Steph in the third quarter, Jimmy in the fourth quarter, and the Warriors at halftime. This looked nasty. Good to see you. We'll do roll call in a minute, but my God, let me pump up my, let me get my thing up here. It sounded weird. And my notes for this thing going. It is the Warriors Bulls. Oh, come on, don't do that.
After Johnny breaks it all down with fancy numbers and talk. Make sure to tune in weekdays for live sports talk, 8 a.m. Pacific each morning on YouTube, X and Instagram, Story of the Day Daily, and breaking news. Subscribe.
Yeah, whatever. All right, there you go. The Warriors win this thing, and thank you for joining us. They were down 69-55 at the half in this whole thing, but they ended up, as you see at the top there, we still do the chalkboard no matter what, 132-111. They get the win, and Jimmy Butler goes off in the start of the fourth quarter. Steph Curry goes off at the end of the third quarter. So, again, first quarter, they're up 34-31. Jimmy Butler had a nice dunk that we'll show you. He had 5 points in 7 minutes to start this thing out. Quentin Post goes 3 for 5 in the first quarter. They're up 3. Second quarter, complete disaster. Chicago, 38-21. They outscore the Warriors, who can't throw it in the ocean. They're 1 of 13 at 6:34 left in the second quarter. The Bulls start on a 15-zip run. It's 46-34 Bulls with 8 minutes left in the second quarter. The Bulls in that quarter, 12 of 18 from the floor, 6 of 8 from 3. The Warriors went 7 of 23. Some guy named 𝐬𝐮 Smith had 11 points in the first quarter. Never heard him, and the Warriors were down 69-55, but they come back in the third quarter. Steph quarter, they trailed 83-59. 83-59. The Warriors are like, oh, quite a debut from Jimmy. And then they outscore the Bulls 38-11 to take a 97-94 lead into the fourth quarter. How about Steph in the third? 24 points in the third quarter, 7 of 11 from the floor, 5 of 8 from 3 from Steph in the third quarter alone. And then they finish with a 56-15 run to make it 113-98 with 7 minutes left. And then I was like, yeah, they're good. And unlike the other night when I jinxed them, I just said it to myself. I didn't say it publicly. But a 56-15 run. Jimmy in the beginning of the fourth quarter when they had that 9-zip run. And again, Steph in the third quarter with that 24 points. And again, he was absolutely great. By the way, one quick note that I just saw, Curry, the 24 in the quarter, his 41st 20-point quarter of his career. And his career high was 28, and he had 24 tonight. So there you go. The Warriors, Jimmy Butler was great tonight. He had 25. Let me clip that up. I think that's good. Jimmy Butler tonight, 25 points on 7 of 12. Like I told you, not a big three-point guy, but the right there where you see it, God, I'm not going to say anything about the local broadcast, but it's like, look, that's how you get to the free throw line. It's not luck. It's not somebody hates you. It's not anything like that. It's just Jimmy Butler's aggressive inside. He doesn't settle for outside threes. He goes to the rim, and if you go to the rim, you're going to get fouled, and you're going to get calls, and he was 11 of 13. Bob sits there and bitches and moans about the Warriors not getting to the line. Yeah, because they shoot threes all day. And if Jimmy Butler goes to the rim and shoots 1 3 and goes to the rim and initiates contact, guess what? They'll call the fouls, but you have to do it. So that's a huge thing, because when your team is struggling offensively, you get to the free throw line, everybody calms down a little bit, and that's exactly what Jimmy did. So way to go, Jimmy. They clearly don't win it without him. They don't win it without Steph's patented Curry flurry at the end of that whole thing. By the way, before we get out to roll call and say hello and good evening to everybody, good evening on this Saturday night before Super Bowl Sunday, this is Jimmy's first points as a Warrior. Nope, wait a minute. That's Anthony Davis. Wrong. This is the first points, I promise. Very nice. There you go. There's Jimmy Butler's first points as a member of the Golden State Warriors. And again, 132-111. We'll go through standings and what it looked like. But just before I get out to roll call and tell everybody hello, a couple of different things. It's pretty amazing to me that Jimmy Butler could come in and play that way hasn't practiced with the team, hasn't played in a number of months, hasn't played in a competitive game in a long time, but clearly Jimmy Butler keeps himself in shape. And, I'm not saying that all the questions that you and I had with Jimmy Butler are all of a sudden washed away, but what he gives them, as you saw with those 13 trips to the free throw line, is he's not going to settle. He's going to be physical, which means he's going to get other teams in foul trouble. He's going to get key players in foul trouble. He's a money player. He saw what Steph did in the third quarter. He's not going to just jack up balls because he has to. And all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, he saw his opportunities, and he just did a tremendous job. So they don't win without, obviously, the Curry flurry. They don't win with Jimmy Butler at the beginning of the fourth quarter and things that he did. And I think we sometimes, and I'll put myself in this, forget, because a lot of times, Jimmy Butler's in Miami and we forget, and he's being angry and he's being bitter and he's being a child and he's all that kind of things. But if he is happy Jimmy, which he just got an extension, so why wouldn't he be happy Jimmy? And we played this for you the other day on Friday's show. I mean, it was giddy Jimmy. It wasn't just happy Jimmy. It was like, it was giddy Jimmy. And so if we can get giddy Jimmy for the rest of the year, whatever, we'll see what happens the rest of the way. But giddy Jimmy is pretty good. We'll put up the box score, but there you go. 69-55. They're down at half. Was it 83-57? I told you they're down, and you're just sitting there going, are you serious? Tears into your old fashioned. Then all of a sudden they go on these runs. Huge run to end the third quarter. Huge run, like I said, into the fourth. 56-15, 38-11 to end the third. Steph had 24 points in the third quarter. He's hitting from everywhere, being crazy, nutty Steph. So nice win tonight, and Jimmy Butler was as advertised. Good. I was going to say, was I going to say good morning? I don't know. Hurley Bird is here. Jake is here. Joe Schmo, thank you for spending your time on a Saturday night with me. Hi, Steve. Good to see you. Daniel is here. Michael, it's good to see you. Jesus. Hello, Jason. Johnny. It's Johnny. Yeah, it's kind of, the old Johnny Carson thing. Frisco Native 415. It is great to see you. Sal G. Hello. We will be getting to those things. If you went to Tommy's, and I think I could probably pop this up. Why not? We got plenty of time here tonight. Tommy did post again. It's getting closer and closer. Oh, hello there. It is Joy, my friend. I was out to dinner with my husband, came home to see the end of the game. My son, he was so happy to see him win. Yeah, that was ugly for a minute. Like I said, it was like 83-57, and I sure going, oh, this is going to be a fun post game. Yeah, Jimmy was there, but they suck. So that wouldn't be good, especially after the losses to, I jinxed the Utah loss, and then they lost to the Lakers, who, by the way, lost a trade today, which we'll get into in a minute. Elevated minds, you couldn't be more right. And people think just getting to the free throw line is this easy thing. It's a lot of things. It tires out a team. It's physical against another team. Teams have to work harder defensively. It brings a dimension in that he's not going to just settle for threes. He's going to be physical with you, man. And he's going to get to the line, and he's going to get your team in foul trouble. So it's not as simple as just shooting free throws. That's free money. And everybody who complains, hello, Miguel. It's good. One of my favorites. Good to see you, man. It just adds a really big element. And in the playoffs, you wonder how a guy is playoff Jimmy. That's how, because you're getting guys in foul trouble. You're being physical. You're getting to the line. Sometimes, especially with an older team, you're slowing down the game. Like, okay, let's relax for a second, get ourselves together. Just a great job by Jimmy Butler. And again, we'll get out to the box score in just a second. Good evening, Lundy. Friendliest catch. It's good to see you. Nice boat, bro. Very, very nice. You know what? I don't want to disappoint anybody, and it's not like I wouldn't take a drink off the shelf there, but I'm sorry I'm drinking LaCroix because tomorrow we have a big day tomorrow, and I don't want to jinx anything, but just real quick, and then I'll get back to this, I swear to you. But tomorrow we're going to have a Super Bowl 59 tailgate show, and I think I'm going to do that at noon tomorrow. Super Bowl, as you can see there, that's me with the Super Bowl trophies there at the bottom. But Krug's coming in at 12:30. I got a Vegas guy coming in tomorrow. Time to be determined. Talking about bets and props and all that kind of stuff tomorrow. I'm going to make sure George made it home. We'll pop him on the show. I got a couple other guests out there as well, people who have won Super Bowls. So we're going to have a Super Bowl 59 tailgate show tomorrow, noon Pacific, and we'll go till 2 Pacific, and the game starts at 3:30 Pacific. So it won't hurt your Super Bowl party to come hang out, or at least, make an appearance for a few minutes, because we'll do a Super Bowl 59 tailgate party tomorrow. Noon, did I say? I did say noon. Noon Pacific to 2 Pacific, so we're like 2 hours. Krug's going to join, I know, at 12:30 Pacific, and then we got a bunch of other guys out there, including my Vegas guy who's going to give you props and all this kind of stuff. and a couple of other people are going to stop by that have not. We're dotting I's and crossing T's, but we'll have about 4 or 5 guests and in a betting guy too. So we'll have a lot of fun tomorrow and hang out. So tomorrow at noon Pacific. Not to say anything. We want to finish this show and we have a lot to talk about. But tomorrow, please tune into the Tailgate Show tomorrow, and I'll have that up on the YouTube channel, John Lund Unleashed, which you should subscribe to. Blah blah blah. All that kind of stuff. JohnLundUnleashed.com. So if you are listening on or watching, I should say, on Instagram or on X tonight, Super Bowl 59 Tailgate Show right here, same bat channel, noon tomorrow. So make sure you're here for that. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And then we're going to be like getting after it, because tonight last night, I got to be honest, not to go on a tangent, but I'm not really a huge beer drinker, and we can do a shot for the Warriors winning for sure. But last night I went to a brewery. I'm not a big beer guy, but there was a brewery that opened near my house, and my wife wanted to go, so we went to it, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I will say it wasn't Fieldworks or anything like that where I was a few nights ago. And usually I'm not a beer drinker, but I've gone to 2 breweries in like last 3 or 4 days, and I didn't drink a lot, but my body was like, what? No, what? This morning I got hit by a truck. I wasn't really hungover that bad, but anyway. And then we had a lot of stuff to do, and so I'm taking it easy because tomorrow's going to be like good night. We're going to have a good time. And I'm going to do a pregame. I know that Krug's doing a postgame tomorrow night, so he can do the postgame. I'd much rather do the pregame, and I can tailgate with everybody. And what I'm going to do tomorrow as part of that, sorry, we're going off on a whole tangent that is not basketball related in the slightest, but whether it's day or night, we go on tangents around here if you're new. But I kind of like the night show, to be honest with you. Good evening, John. I'm drunk. I love it. I love it, Vernon. I love it. I guess I should have gotten a drink. But tomorrow during the I'll run get one. Tomorrow during the game, or in the pregame, sorry, in the tailgate show that we're going to do, I'll bring in a bunch of Bloody Marys and Bloody Mary mix, and we'll make Bloody Marys right on the show, because I think I told you on Friday, I'm like, I think I'm pretty good at making them. So that's what I'm going to do. So make sure tomorrow you're here at noon. Yeah, we're all right, man. I'm not worried. There's plenty of people in the room for me. These are all my friends, and I totally dig it. Hi, Bucko Sports is here. Hi, Bucko Sports. I don't have any idea what that means. It could be bad, but then again, we're just on the internet, so it could be a lot of bad things. Let's see. Amateur hour. John, need to take a shot. Are you telling me or you? Because I do have something in the fridge. I probably don't want to break it out right now, because I'll probably break it out tomorrow. But I guess I could break it out, and it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I know, friendly as catch, Mr. Tangent. It's like, I thought we were going to be here to talk basketball. I thought we were going to do a post-game show. But, people send me into a tangent. You know how that works. Yeah, Bloody Marys, man. I will. I'll make the best Bloody Marys. And I'm not even kidding you. By the way, let me do this and then back to basketball. Hi, Enrique. Drinks up. Have you ever had a Bloody Mary martini? It is out friggin' standing. And all it is essentially how you would make, you shake it cold like you normally would. You just put a touch of Bloody Mary mix in there. And, and I love blue cheese olives. I think blue cheese olives for a martini, blue cheese olives for a Bloody Mary martini. But you do with the Bloody Mary martini, you put celery salt on the rim, and you just do a regular martini, put a splash of, a good splash of Bloody Mary mix in there, 3 blue cheese olives in that sucker, and a little piece of bacon. But you make sure that you put the celery salt on the rim for that thing. That is a solid drink for tomorrow. So I might even start with the Bloody Mary martini tomorrow, and then get into the Bloody Marys and make those. So anyway, I think that would be amazing, and we'll do that together. All right, let's do this. 132-111. Nice job by Jimmy Butler. They clearly don't get the win. This was a wild one. A good first quarter by the Warriors. Second quarter was absolutely atrocious. Then on 69-55 at halftime. First half of the third quarter, we're about ready to I don't know that I'm going to do a post-game show. And then Steph completely takes over with those 24 points. And again, it was a 38-11 run. So they lead Chicago 97-94 to start the fourth quarter. Steph 24 in that quarter. They cap it with a 56-15 run, as you can see on the chalkboard there on the screen. 113-98, 7 minutes left to completely flip this game. So again, they were down 24 in this game, and they ended up winning by 21. I guess they were down 25 in this game, and ended up winning by 21. They opened the fourth quarter after that big run 9-0. So really it was a 47-11, ended up 56-11. Sorry, ended up 56-11. But they ended the third on a 38-11, and they started the fourth on a 9-0. Woo! How about that? All right, let me pop this up so everybody can check out what everybody did tonight on the screen. Let me share my screen with you. There could be some dangerous things on the screen tonight. I think we're good. There you go. Jimmy. 26. You know, that's that. You look at it, you're all excited in there, 26-26. But again, there's plenty of games. There's exactly 30, by the way. I just did the math right there. 52 games. We're 52 in, 30 to go. That's plenty of time to acclimate Jimmy. And he certainly looked acclimated tonight. Again, 7 of 12, 11 of 13. So almost half the Warriors' free throws from Jimmy Butler, and that's what he does. 4 assists, 2 boards. But then you go, 25 points. He was huge at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Steph Curry, I'm going to show you the third quarter numbers in a minute. They're incredible. 10 of 19, 8 of 16, 34, but 24 in the third quarter alone. Hield was actually good in the first half. Post was actually good in the first quarter. I mean, one thing about Quentin Post, and this is something that Jimmy Butler can do that's underrated, when he does get to the rim, he kicks it. He's a good playmaker. So on the floor, if you look at the starters, Butler, Green, Post, Hield, Curry, I would imagine that eventually, and I know that Dre doesn't want to play the 5, but I think their best lineup, and that's probably how they're going to finish. I don't know if it's how they're going to start, but their best lineup is going to be Draymond Green at the 5, Kuminga at the 4, in my mind, Jimmy Butler at the 3, Curry at the 1, and I know they start Hield. I think the way that Podziemski is playing right now, and it's only a few games, but Podziemski's playing like a starter. I mean, he's playing the 29 minutes, but he played great tonight. 7-11, 2 of 5, and it really doesn't even show his game. You know, he really hustled, got his hand on a lot of passes in the lane. So I think eventually Curry, Podziemski, Butler, Kuminga, and Green, that's your best 5. You know, and that doesn't mean that you're going to start those guys, but it'll take Kuminga a long time. That ankle must have been nasty. But it's going to take Kuminga a long time to get reacclimated again. But then again, there's Jimmy Butler. Hadn't played in months, but that's a professional. 7 of 12, 25 points. They keep him under 30 minutes, which is really nice as well. And they have a tough bunch of games coming up, including Milwaukee on Monday night. We'll get to that in a minute. But let me flip through. So again, halftime, it's like, what in the what? They're down 69-55. The second quarter was atrocious. But then let's go to the third quarter here. Look at that. Take a picture of that. Steph Curry, 7 of 11, 5 of 8. He goes on the free throw line 6 times, which is not very Steph-like. Plus 18, he scores 24 in that quarter, and the Warriors score 42 in that quarter, and Butler even had 7. So there you go. That was 38-11 to end that quarter. And then let's get into the fourth quarter. This is first through 3, obviously. So they're up 3 going into the final. And then that fourth quarter, hello, Jimmy, 3 of 4 from Jimmy. But again, goes to the free throw line 4 times, plus 16 in that quarter, and he scores 10. They didn't even need anything from Curry. He only played 3 minutes when they were up 3 going into the fourth because Butler was so solid. Good stuff off the bench. But Podziemski, like I said, I think is eventually going to be a starter and deserves to be. And they outscore the Bulls in the fourth quarter, 35-17. And the Bulls went 5 of 21 and 2 of 11 from 3. And they're not a great 3-point shooting team. So there you go. They seal it in the fourth, but it was really Steph in the third that got everything going. And there you go. Let me just going to make you dizzy, but there you go. There's their final box, 132-111. And the Warriors get a much needed win because, again, to just hit on this thing just a little bit, they were not good. They got beaten Utah because of me. And then they lose to the Lakers when LeBron had 42 and 17. So that's pretty impressive, though, coming back in the way that they did. I'll ask you, what did you think of Jimmy? How would you grade Jimmy? However you want to look at it, with a number, with a grade, with a damn, that's good. As somebody said a little bit earlier, he gives them something and you kind of forget because you didn't see him as much. But you absolutely, positively look at it and you say, wow, there's Jimmy. That's what Jimmy does. It's absolutely great. So really, really good. Really, really cool stuff. So good job by Jimmy to get that thing done because let's be honest, they don't get it done. They do not get it done without Jimmy tonight. So there you go. Couple other things around the NBA, and then let's talk about everything here. Let's see. Let me see. What's Joey talking about? Drinking? Here, let's talk drinks. There's a great drink I normally get at a restaurant I went to tonight called the Passionate Pilgrim, sweet and spicy. What's in it? What's the base of it? Passionate Pilgrim, sweet and so. Hello, Pilgrim. I haven't done my John Wayne in a while. Hello, get the hell out of here, Death. Passionate Pilgrim. What would be in a Passionate Pilgrim? I've never even heard of that. Is that a vodka? No, you don't like vodka, do you? Oh, look at a little Pliny tonight. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Man, everybody's. They just released Pliny the Younger, and it's probably already gone. Like seriously. Yeah. Tomorrow you got to tune in, John, because tomorrow we'll do Bloody Marys live on the air. We'll even do some Bloody Martinis on the air. Whatever you guys like. I'll have the blue cheese olives going. We'll get after it tomorrow. I apologize that I'm not having a cocktail with everybody tonight. I'm going to rectify that though. If you give me like 1 minute to run inside, I do have this pre-made thing that I've been wanting to drink for a while. And my wife was probably going to make me, save it for everybody, but that's all right. She wouldn't mind if I pop it. It's in the, we went to Hanson's a couple of weeks ago, like I said. Let me go Fosse real quick. Jimmy has arrived. Yeah, look, that's all I was doing all night long and I wouldn't have done a post game if it wasn't going to be, Jimmy, but he absolutely positively was great. Let me pop up a few more things. I got some numbers and things that will impress you, I think. So again, this was the show cover today, debut post game, and those are the two guys that won it. Steph 24 in the third quarter, Jimmy 25 for the game. There are their numbers combined. I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb and say that's pretty good. When Jimmy goes 29 minutes and scores 25, and my whole thing, I get stuck on this, the 11 to 13 from the line, they just don't have anybody that does that. They just don't have anybody that forces the defense in that way. And so you're looking at and a lot of teams in the league are like this, but, you look at Steph, jack it up there, all the threes he does, and that's great. But now you have a little bit of a yin and yang offensively, and Jimmy changes your offense. He only threw up the 1 3-pointer, but that's what Jimmy does. He's just over 2 a game, and it's not that he can't hit threes. He's one of those guys that will hit threes, at opportune times for your team. It's not that he can't shoot that. It's just he's so good in getting to the rim and forcing that action and forcing that contact that he gets to the rim. And I just think it's funny because on the local broadcast, if you don't watch the local broadcast, we're not in the Bay Area, it's just constant whining. Like seriously, like it would hurt dogs' ears. I mean, it's so high of a pitch about the difference in free throws. But then you watch Jimmy Butler and you say, there's somebody who knows how to get to the line. There's somebody who doesn't settle for threes or jumpers, who doesn't fade away from the contact. He goes to the contact and knows how to get it. And there's nobody on the Warriors like that. It's not that the officials don't like Steph Curry or don't like, they don't like Draymond Green, but that they don't have, it's just, they don't have players who do that. Podziemski doesn't do that. Steph doesn't do that. Post doesn't do that. Their bigs don't do that. Draymond Green, is a facilitator on offense. He doesn't do that. They don't have a guy who gets to the free throw line, who understands or implements, I should say. Steph understands it, but he's more of obviously a shooter. But there's nobody who implements getting to the line and drawing that contact on this team like that. That's why they are continually near the bottom or at the bottom as far as free throws, and it's nothing against him. So hopefully the high-pitched announcer will zip it. Because after a while, it's like, dude, see, that's how a guy gets to the line. That's how a professional guy gets to the line. And it drives me crazy when Harden does it and all these kind of guys, but there's an art to getting to the line. And Jimmy did it tonight, and he's going to do it again and again and again. And they didn't have that part of their offense. And I think for Jimmy to go out there and score 25 and play the way he did and have, what seemed like continuity with the team, especially early. I mean, those kickouts to Post, who hit a couple early, I like that kid. We'll see if Steve trusts him when everybody comes back, when Kuminga's back and everybody's healthy and they got the full squad. I don't know where that guy goes, but I think he deserves some minutes because he spreads the floor as a stretch five. And clearly, as we're watching Vucevic tonight, going, man, we would like to have that guy. But, I'm not saying Post is Vucevic, but he does. There's another element to your offense that he gives you. So not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, somebody's going Boilermaker tonight? Really? Boilermaker. That's aggressive. But again, it's Saturday night. What time we got? Saturday night at what? 8:30? I mean, that's pretty good. It's pretty aggressive. I like it, man. Very good. Let's see. Steve. I don't drink liquor much anymore because I like to drink. That's to me. See, I get full on beer, and I like to drink liquor, but I'll drink it a little bit at a time. Today, by the way, we had brunch. We were out having brunch today, and my wife is more of a champagne or a mimosa girl, but I don't know what it is. Maybe you're different. Maybe you just have a go-to, and no matter what you do or where you are, what time of the day it is, you're cool with whatever, and you just drink the same thing. With brunch, I don't know why I got on this kick, but it just pops in my head now, and it's what I order. The place that I go to has fresh grapefruit, and they do a salty dog and it's so good. And I could have about 8 of them, but I had one because I was driving and I had a bunch of stuff we had to do today. But it was outstanding. It was really good. But I'm not doing that tomorrow. Tomorrow it's 2 Bloody Mary. Maybe it's 1 Bloody Mary, 1 Bloody Mary martini, and then I don't know what I'm going to do after that. I have no idea. Look at this. People are going, there we go. Oh, that's your drink. Okay. Habanero vodka, lemongrass vodka with basil, cucumber, and passion fruit. My wife would love that. I wonder if the habanero vodka is our friends at Hansen's. I have no idea. They do a habanero. But you know what's really cool is maybe they infuse it themselves, like a lemongrass. I'm sure they probably, you went to a fancy joint, because I'm going to bet that if they have lemongrass vodka, they infuse it themselves. And the habanero vodka, if they're infusing lemongrass, they might as well do habanero, and they probably do it themselves with an infused vodka. By the way, it's really easy to infuse vodka. It's so good. Oh, that sounds outstanding, by the way. It sounds as, was it Seinfeld? It sounds very refreshing. No, that was Kramer with, he was talking about those mint candies. Very refreshing. Okay. Anyone want to talk about the Warriors? We don't have to. Probably just an excuse to come on the air today. Let's see. My lady and I can drink, and we have dance parties at homes. What do you like when you have your dance party? What do you make? Oh, look at Jesus is already going to predictions. We're going to do that tomorrow, but you can do early ones tomorrow if you can't make it tomorrow, noon to 2 Pacific for the Tailgate show. You're going Eagles. You're going Chiefs 33-28. You might be right. I'm thinking if I'm thinking this, it's going to be wrong. I'm thinking it's going to be lower scoring than that. Kansas City, as we know, has a really good defense. Eagles have one of the best defenses. Chiefs don't score a ton of points. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Have I heard what? Have you heard the Gen Z term, a yapper? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Are you a Heineken guy? I can't, again, I'm not judging anybody. I'm not a Heineken guy. I got to tell you. We're doing a post-game show. You're like, what game? I don't know what you're talking about. It's a great avatar there. Look at that, man. You got everybody in there. Do you do that yourself? That's solid, man. Very solid. I like that. I'm actually jealous of that. I should have done something like that, huh? Let's see. What else do we have, guys? What else do we have? Yeah, we could go back to Jimmy has arrived. Jimmy was great. I mean, you forget how good he is because you're watching the game tonight and you're thinking to yourself, my God, man, they've not even practiced together and he throws up 25. But I think what he's doing is like, I'll do what I always do. I'm just going to get to the line. They don't have a guy that does that. And Jimmy's a good playmaker too. A couple of those passes he had to Quentin Post to hit shots. It was like, damn, it was really solid, man. Ooh, I am jealous of you. Drinking some English rare. Very nice. Look at that. I should have got it. Yeah, I dropped the ball on this. I'll blame myself for this. Definitely. Yeah. What did you think? Let me see here. Hold on. Great Jimmy Buckets debut. See, the thing moves so fast that I try to catch these things and I'm too slow. Sweet avatar for you too. Clement Ackers. Very nice. Great Jimmy Buckets debut. And yeah, I can't deny that for him to get 25, and it's not just the 25, it's just the way he is on the court. It didn't feel like there was anything where you ever were out there going, oh, okay, they haven't played together. Oh, okay, there's a pass there. Or he turned it over here, turned it over there. He just, again, he's a professional. And they're going to have those moments where Jimmy Butler's going to struggle a little bit, and you're going to be able to tell that they haven't played together a whole lot with the schedule coming up. In fact, I'll pop the schedule up on the screen. But Jimmy Beer Buckets, very nice. Well, way to go. Let me pop this up real quick. There are going to be some tough games coming up. Let's look at the schedule really quick. For the Golden State Warriors, there you go. Monday, not easy at Milwaukee. Dallas. I'll get into Anthony Davis tonight. Well, I don't even know if Anthony Davis will be playing Wednesday. The non-contact injury is the one that always scares the hell out of you. And he had a non-contact injury February 13th, Thursday at Houston. They got beat tonight. But again, there's 3 games right there, very difficult. Sacramento, our friends at Sacramento, not an easy game. Dallas, again, not an easy game. Charlotte, who, by the way, gets Mark Williams back. I'll tell you about that. That trade was rescinded today because the Lakers didn't like what they saw on the physical from Mark Williams, which, a lot of people thought they gave up a lot in Dalton Connect, their first-round pick, and they probably did. But I thought Mark Williams was going to fit them perfectly. Big lob guy, and they needed a big burly center. And so I think that's to the advantage of everybody else. So I'm giving you the next 11 because I wanted to do 10, but it's that road trip there. So tough games coming up at the beginning. A lot of road games here, but at Milwaukee, at Dallas, at Houston, at Sacramento. So that's the next 4. And then you come home for only 2. But again, Dallas, if Anthony Davis is playing there, Charlotte's not good. Orlando's got some injuries. Philly, we know about Philly, but then, again, Charlotte, New York, Brooklyn. New York's probably the only good team in that whole bunch. Philadelphia, depending on who they have playing in that specific game. But right at the beginning there, those first 5 are really, really difficult. So there's the schedule that's coming up on Monday. It'll start with this whole thing. We'll see where Anthony Davis is. Speaking of Anthony Davis, let me play this for you. So let's see. This is Davis at the beginning. So Anthony Davis, I was flipping to this game. The first 10 minutes of this game, Anthony Davis was just ridiculous. So this is Anthony Davis early. Oh, wait a minute. I got this too far down. Here you go. Look at that. Kidding? By the way, I like that gray court. How about the gray court? Gray court's cool. There you go. Get after it. So there's Anthony Davis. He had probably 4 or 5 highlight plays within probably the first 10 minutes of the game. And I don't know if you guys had seen the scene in Dallas. So what they did, their new ownership group, the Adelson Group, not Mark Cuban, who would have never traded him, especially the Lakers, Doncic. But what they did was I think it was up to a couple $1,000s. They're like, we'll refund your tickets. And also they were doing a trade-in for Luka jerseys. You can get an Anthony Davis jersey. They were doing trade-ins for Lukas. They were doing everything to try to appease people. In fact, at the press conference, I texted a friend of mine who's the voice of the Mavericks, Mark Followell, and he's the anti-Bob Fitzgerald. He's very, very popular with Dallas Mavericks fans. I wouldn't say he's 𝐾𝐭, but he's on that level. And he's very popular, been doing it for a long time with them. And they had him MC the press conference because people were just so pissed off. And so they wanted to bring somebody out from the organization that people saw as positive. And so that's what they did. So people have been going crazy. So I know that Anthony Davis has got to be hearing this stuff and going nuts and saying, all right, look at this. And he went off at the beginning of that game, but then he left the game. And they beat Houston tonight. Then he left the game. But here's Anthony Davis getting hurt with a non-contact injury. Right there. Here you see it again. So that looks like a groin or something in the groinal region. Something like that. But you hate to see when it's a non-contact injury, but that's what happened to Anthony Davis. So Davis goes off, and they end up winning that game. And they were up big in that game. And Anthony Davis is just going crazy because I'm sure he saw all the negative reaction, and he's got to be thinking to himself, I'm going to the Hall of Fame. I'm pretty good, pretty good. And why is everybody freaking out? Well, we're freaking out because it's a long-term thing with Luka, and you don't trade those kind of guys. But okay, they did, and I think it pissed him off, and he took it out on the Houston Rockets. They ended up winning that game, and I have not seen an injury report on Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis gets hurt, and I just showed you the schedule just a second ago, and I'll pop it up again. So Davis gets hurt. Is he going to play in that Wednesday game? Don't know. Going to play in that 23rd game? I don't know. So they could get a break, and Luka's gone, and Anthony Davis, especially for Wednesday's game, may not play because, again, he's doubling over, grabbing his groin, and nobody hit him. It's nothing like that. So Anthony Davis could be out for a while, which could help the Warriors in the short term. So that's what's going on. So 2 things around the NBA to know about beyond this big win for the Warriors, 132-111, is that Mark Williams, the trade that was supposed to go from the Hornets to the Lakers, that gets rescinded because the Lakers, according to Shams, didn't like a bunch of the stuff that they saw on there. In fact, I have it right here. Here it is right there. There was multiple issues, and the team failed him on the exam, not failed due to his back, that was actually the major problem. So Dalton Connect goes back to the Lakers. Mark Williams goes back to Charlotte, and that's got to be awkward too. Like, you're Dalton Connect, like Mark Williams, whatever, man. I failed my physical, whatever. But like Dalton Connect's like, oh, we love you, buddy. We love you. And I'm sure that they'll try to spin that and everything. But it's like, I got traded. Like, I was in Charlotte hanging out. It's like, that can't be easy. We did not want you. Another player fit, but we want to have you back, and we love you a ton. So anyway, there's that as far as stuff going around the NBA. Let's see. Where is the tailgate? Oh, we're just going to have it right here. Yeah, we're just going to have it right here. We're going to do the tailgate show. And like I said, Krug is in for 12:30 tomorrow. We're going to do it from 12 to 2 Pacific time. So Krug is already in. I got a betting guy from Vegas who's going to join us to talk about all the props. Got a couple other people that we're dotting I's and crossing T's on. I might even pop George back on to see how we survived the flight home from New Orleans. So and I'm still working on a bunch of other people as well. So Super Bowl 59 tailgate show tomorrow. Tune in, and I'll have that thing ready, and I'll have a bunch of people. If you are part of the YouTube channel, John Lund Unleashed on YouTube, please have your alerts on. Please subscribe, please like, but have your alerts on, because that way we'll be able to you'll be able to get hit, and you'll know exactly who's coming on and what time. I do know Krug's at 12:30, and he'll break down the game. So I want kind of a different aspect from everybody. So the Vegas guy is going to do something from a betting perspective. Krug's going to do it from a break it down kind of perspective. George might just be funny because he survived New Orleans. So, and then we got a couple other guys that were actually football players that actually played the game, and we want to get their perspective on what it's like to prepare for a Super Bowl. So again, that starts tomorrow at noon, which should fit into because my God, how much can you watch? That's the other reason I wanted to do it, because I like pregame shows and everything. I'm a big fan, but I kind of learned this when I did 49ers pregame show all the time. It was ridiculous. We'd get there. I'd get down to Levi's Stadium, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Don't get me wrong. But I got down there at 8 in the morning, or like a lot of times like 7:45 in the morning. And it was really cool to like walk the field and no one's there, and, do all these videos and all this kind of stuff. And the game doesn't start till like 1:05 or 1:25. So then I'm there like 7:45, grab all the stuff, grab all the cards, all the things, get prepared. And then I probably get over to the studio by, 8:15. We would go on at 9 for a game that started at 1:05 or 1:25. So, we're on the air for like 4 hours. And the game's going to be like 3.5. So we did pregame, and then we did a postgame. And again, I'm not complaining, but we do like a 2-hour postgame show. So I was on the air on 49er days, and then I did network halftime show. I was on the air like 6 to 6.5 hours. The game was like 3 hours. So I'm doing twice what the game is, and that's for a regular season game, let alone the Super Bowl. Steve Mariucci we'd have on all the time right before the Super Bowl. Mariucci's going to be on 6 o'clock Pacific tomorrow, like 3 a.m. In the East, like for the Super Bowl that starts 12 hours later. Like, they do a 12-hour pregame show. Like, if there's any kind of an angle that can be talked about, they will talk about it. Referees probably for an hour. Honestly, the last Super Bowl, just anything. They sit around a big table and they go, oh, what can we do? We got 12 hours. It's just going to be tons of interviews. I'm sorry, but they're going to do Kelsey and Taylor, and they're going to, it's just anything. The Kelsey brothers again, and Jason's not playing, but he's rooting for the Eagles. And oh my God, it's going to go on and on till the break of dawn. So I just figured, we do something noon to 2 tomorrow, make it really easy. And, that's, it breaks up your day. We make some Bloody Marys. We get a betting guy. We get people analyzing stuff, all that kind of stuff. So we'll do that tomorrow at noon. And I think we'll have a great time. And that's when I'll get after it a little bit. Normally I'm not a Sunday drinker, but, Super Bowl, you got to. And that's the other thing too. Like, I told you, we went to a brewery yesterday, and I'm not a big beer guy, but the beers are good. I do like a kind of like a fruit forward sour, like I was down at Fieldworks the other day and had this sour that was like, it didn't even taste like a beer. It was just like, oh my God. And you couldn't drink about 1 million of them, because that's the other thing about beer now. is that, a lot of beers are like 8, 9%. Remember when all those hardcore, high percentage beers used to come out and you could taste it. Like, you're like, whoa, it's like drinking paint varnish. And now it's like drinking water. And all of a sudden, what is that? At 9%? You drink like 2 of those and you're like, whoo, man. So anyway, by the way, if you were just joining us, we're about 45 minutes into the show. The Warriors get the win, as you can see. I guess I should do the chalkboard as I do for our regular shows at 8 o'clock, Monday through Friday. John Lund Unleashed. Make sure that you are following us. Make sure that you are subscribing to us on YouTube. But it is your Jimmy Butler debut post-game show tonight. The Warriors beat the Bulls, and it was not as easy as the final score would indicate. 132 to 111. Jimmy's line, he had 25. I showed you that. Fourth quarter, he absolutely went off. Awful second quarter, 38-21. The Bulls absolutely rocked the Warriors. It was 69-55 at half. There was a point where it was 83-57 Bulls. And so the Bulls. And so the rest of us, we're just sitting around going, I'm sure you're the same way. Like, how long am I going to last here? There's got to be something better on. And, but then they come back, and Steph Curry was absolutely incredible. In the third quarter, Steph goes for 24 points, crushes it at the three-point line, even though that looks like 38-77 to me. But as you look on the chalkboard there, the Curry flurry in the third, 38-11 for the Warriors to end that quarter, 56-15 run into the fourth quarter. Jimmy Butler, so they end that 38-11. Then they start the fourth quarter with a 9-zip, and that was spurred by Jimmy. And it was the Jimmy and Curry show, as I showed you a little bit earlier. Curry and Jimmy totally carrying the water tonight. As you see, Jimmy just in 29 minutes, 25 points. And keep in mind, that's his debut game. And it's like, yeah, well, he scores that kind of all the time. Not in a debut game. That is awesome. And that's a great picture because where is he standing? At the free throw line, where he went 11 of 13. And there's an art to getting to the free throw line. So there you go. Let me keep that up there for a minute. And there is Steph Curry, 10 of 19, 8 of 16 from the three, and 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Maybe he was inspired a bit by Jimmy because those two combined 21 times to the free throw stripe. So very nice job by those two guys. Curry at the end of the third, Jimmy beginning of the fourth. And although it looked for a moment there that they were going to get smoked, they did not. There's Jimmy's final numbers right there. 25.7 of 12. Only 1 3-point shot attempt, which is great because he got the free throw line 13 times. So again, he gives them an element offensively that they just do not have. So very nice job by the Warriors swinging that deal, because I'm not going to say he's going to get 25 a night, but I think sometimes you forget just how good he is. Gave you the schedule, what the Warriors look like. They got some tough ones. Those first 5 are not easy, but then they come home for it should be an easy one against Charlotte. Orlando's banged up and they hit the road again. They're on it. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? Am I saying that right? 7 of the next 9 on the road. So anyway, come home, play a banged up Orlando team. Depending on how Philly's got going by March 1st, at Charlotte, Brooklyn stinks, and at New York. So they look, those are going to be tough games, those first 5. But if Jimmy's playing this way, at Milwaukee, at Dallas, let's say they don't have Anthony Davis, 1-1 at Houston, you got to start winning these games. I mean, that's the one thing is, we're all excited and everything. And I showed you the box score. The bottom line is they're still 26-26. We're 52 games in and they have 30 to go. So what has to start happening here is, because I said on Friday when they made the move, I said that, look, they can get up to the 6. They're good enough with Jimmy Butler to get out of the play-in. But in order to do that, you got to win at Dallas if Anthony Davis isn't playing. You got to win at Houston, who's a really good team, but they're young. It can't be just we can do it. We have confidence in ourselves. You have to do it. Sacramento off a trade. You got to do that. Now you go to Dallas, but again, if they're winning, but you can't lose to Charlotte. You can't lose up to a banged up Orlando team. You've got to, as you look at this, there's 11 games that I've showed you right there. And there's a lot of tough ones in there. But if you want to be a team that is not playing in the play-in, and a lot of people got excited about seeing Jimmy score the 25 tonight, parade to the free throw line the way they did. But those next 11 have to be like 8-3. Like Brooklyn can't beat you in a surprise. You've got to go to Houston, a game that is going to be really tough to win. You got to win that game. Philly's banged up. You got to win that game. Orlando's banged up. You got to win that game. You got to blow Charlotte out. I mean, there's just Charlotte twice. You got to blow them out. You can't mess around with Brooklyn. Again, those first 5 are tough. At Milwaukee, at Dallas, at Houston, at Sacramento, then Dallas back at home if Davis is playing. But out of those 5, if you're going to get up to the 6, you got to be like 3-2. And then you got to beat Charlotte, Orlando, a banged up Philly team, Charlotte again, maybe New York gets you, but you got to smoke Brooklyn. Like, you got to win 7, 8 of those games. You got to start going through stretches here with only 30 to play. I mean, that's 11. That's a third of your schedule that's remaining right in front of your face. So, actually, you need to go like 8-3 because they're right at 500 right now, right at 500. And the Lakers are in a bit of a run here. Dallas, I think, short term, unless Davis is hurt long term. Dallas short term could be better than LA after that trade. And the Mark Davis thing to me, or Mark Davis, oh my God, the Mark Williams trade not going through, I thought he was a great fit for them. That's huge, I think. And, we're past the deadline, so it's not like they can go out and get another guy, another big. So, anyway, give me your thoughts on that. Good to see you, Kyle. What's going on, man? Good to see you, my friend. What's in our fridges for tomorrow? Yeah, I would like to know what is in your fridge for tomorrow. It's weird, even though I said I'm not a big beer guy. Like, Super Bowl kind of is a beer day, Super Bowl is kind of a beer day. So, no, I did not forget about you. I was just kind of going on a tangent. Beautiful dog there, Ryan D. Very nice. Very nice. No, I didn't forget about anybody. Good to see you. Was I just going on a tangent about everything? See, now I want to talk about this. Hi, John. Good to see you, my friend. That is a great one as well. Old school Niners. 6 fireball shots. Now, again, remember I was telling you about infused because now maybe you're a young man, John Joseph. Maybe you're a young man. But I'm here to tell you, and you already probably know this, and I don't mean to be like a father figure with this, but like Fireball is such cheap whiskey, and I can't drink it because I'll get hungover like a mother. I like the taste of it, but there's a reason why with like college kids, it's super, super, they love it. In fact, you know what? Because you brought that up, if you will all just hang on a second and give me 10 seconds. This is not professional to do, but give me 20 seconds. All right. Give me 20 seconds. I'm going to go grab something. Then instead of Fireball, you should be drinking. And I just remembered it's in my freezer. And I will have a drink with you all tonight. I just remembered this. Hang on 1 second. Let me just put something up here. There you go. Okay. Give me a second. Hang on. I don't know if it's going through or not. Okay. Let me take this off. All right, I'm back. Was that too difficult? All right, a couple of things. So you said you mentioned Fireball. Somebody mentioned Fireball. You can infuse it with cinnamon sticks or red hots or both. You can infuse it and take a you don't want to take a super high end whiskey and ruin it, but you can take a nice whiskey that won't make you hungover, and you can do that. Okay, you could absolutely do that. One of my favorites. I'll just do this right out of the bottle. Who cares? This is one of my favorites. You can see that it's frozen. That the bottle is frozen because I have it right out of my. This is right out of my freezer. Do you have a garage freezer like I do, and you stick stuff in there? There's plenty. You can see it's frosty. That's a frosty thing. But the Jack Daniel's Fire, maybe you don't like Jack Daniel's, but it's a higher grade than what the Fireball is, and Fireball will give you, at least to me, a raging hangover. And my wife used to be a fan of it, and we would go out and we'd be calm, and then we would go to this local dance club, and we would do a couple of those, and then the next morning we wake up and go, God, did I get hit by a truck? And you have that cotton mouth and all that kind of stuff. So then we did two things. We got the Jack Daniel's Fire, which is a little bit better of a booze and doesn't give you as bad of a hangover. But then I started infusing it. And so what I would do is you take cinnamon sticks, basically. You take some red hots in there to give it a little bit of heat. So the cinnamon gives it a little cinnamon flavor, obviously. and then the Red Hots give it the heat. You know, Red Hots candy. And you throw that in there, and then you infuse it for at least 24 hours. So if you did it now, if you like ran to the store now, it's 10 to 9, you're fine. Go to, you know, whatever, and did that, and then you infused it, got it in there, and then you'd be in good shape. I don't know if somebody's texting me about hot tamales. I don't know about hot tamales. I know about Red Hots. And you put that in there, you put some cinnamon sticks in there, and you infuse that for about 24 hours, and you strain it and chill it. And do it with a nice, you know, again, you don't have to do it with super high-end stuff, but just a nice, you know, something nice. And then I brought myself a Stella here. I'm a Stella fan. I'm going to chase it down with that because you guys are such a horrible influence. I was just going to do LaCroix and hang out with a show, you know? I wasn't going to drink anything, and then you guys started it in on me. Your fault. And then another thing we bought, we're going to do this for tomorrow. You might make fun of me for this, but this is infused. This is from Hansen's, and it's a raspberry lemon drop. And see, I hadn't popped the cork on this thing. We bought it. You know, they do all these kind of. This is a Hansen's organic lemon vodka with raspberry puree, lemon juice, and agave nectar. I mean, does that sound good or what? And that's frozen. That is chilly to my hand. And I was gonna bust that open, but my wife will kill me because it's our. You know, I mean, that looks pretty nice, doesn't it? That's real raspberry puree with lemon vodka, organic Meyer lemon vodka, raspberry puree. Yeah, I was going to break that out. But then I just remembered somebody brought up Fireball. And I'm like, ooh, Fireball. So go ahead. Get it. Looks like a butt plug. Go ahead, get a drink, get a cocktail, get a shot, whatever. Let me know. Yeah, Fireball's bad for you, man. Hey, Dank. It is. It's just not. Yeah, it's the Jack Daniel's Fire. Never saw it before. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. But you just put it in your freezer, and then that way, you know. By the way, I'm a big fan of freezer drinks or drinks that you like, even like this lemon drop thing or raspberry lemon drop thing, where you just have it good to go, and then people come over and you're like, you don't have to bartend on the fly. If you're doing a party tomorrow. By the way, what's people doing? What are people doing tomorrow? You staying home? You going to a party? Last year I was at the Super Bowl. That was a lot of fun. You know, I was one of the first. In fact, I should pull these. I'll pull these pictures up for tomorrow. I was one of the first persons, whatever. And I walked that thing. I felt good last year. I got to tell you. I was walking around that place. In fact, maybe I'll pop one up right now. I was walking around that place last year, and I was thinking to myself, they're winning. Like, I really did. Everybody that I talked to, all my friends were texting me. They were throwing money on the game. They're like, you think they're going to win? I'm like, I really do. I really think they're going to win. Like, I was incredibly confident that they were going to win last year. Let me see if I can pop one of these up. I mean, seriously, I'm walking around the Super Bowl, and I'm just like, there's no one here. This is so cool. And it was that way in Miami too, because we go on the air so early. Like I said, we go on the air at like 8:00 in the morning. And so it's just ridiculous. And we're just like, okay. Like, enough. God, I have a million pictures. I really at some point have to delete some of this stuff. It's really nuts. There you go. Here's my Super Bowl pictures. I got to get some of these. Oh, that's from Monday night. Come on, move it. Yeah, God, these are old. I mean, these are from all the media stuff before it. Let me see here. Hang on one second. These will be good. Oh, okay. This is a good one. I'll send this one. I'll send this out to my Mac. And I'll let you, because like there's no one in the place. Like, this is last Super Bowl. Okay. Move this up real quick. Will this depress you if I do this? Probably will. People are just like, no, do not do that. Do not. We don't need to see anything from the Super Bowl last year. Nothing. I'm like, all right, just hang on. All right. I've been doing a lot of hang on. We're going to do just one of these. And I don't know if we're going to do many tomorrow because people might get really angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. They're going to probably, let's see what we got. Let's see if here it is right here. So I had walked up to the booth. I'd walked the whole stadium. And then this was the radio booth that I broadcast from for pre, half, and post. And of course, that's the place for, that's the place. Hang on, I'm going to do these star ones, but I don't know how to get you off the board there. Ooh, very nice. Oh yeah, we'll do a shot. But so I had walked the whole stadium there. And then, as you can see, you can't see behind me because those are seats, but you can see just to my right, there's an engineer sitting there, and he had gotten all the equipment ready, and that was probably, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes before pregame show, and our pregame show is so damn early. In fact, we did it even earlier for the Super Bowl. I think it was last year for the Super Bowl, it was 8 a.m. We did the Super Bowl at 8 a.m. pregame show for a game that started at, 3:30? I mean, it was ridiculous. And there was no one in the stadium. I literally walked the whole dang thing before I even got up there. And I was just like, oh, my God. And they stuck us in the tiniest booth imaginable. But I dig that picture, though. But I got tons of them. But I probably won't do very many of those because people are like, yeah, we know what happened in that game. We don't really want to talk about it. But so that was, I mean, not exactly a year ago, but I was like, let's go. At that point, I was like, they are winning that game. I was that confident. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Star-wise, in fact, because you have this up, Ryan, let's just do it right now. What are we cheering to? We cheering to Jimmy? Let's do it to Jimmy. And tomorrow we'll do more. Tomorrow we're going to do Bloody Marys and stuff. But here's to you. Here's to me. Here's to Jimmy Butler, 132, 111. Jimmy looks good. Plus, I don't want to make this any warmer than it has to be. It's already cold. That's good. It's cold. Still very cold. And remember, it's your fault. I didn't want to do that. But like I said, so there's your Fireball. But that's a Jack Daniels version. And it is, it's tasty. I haven't had any for a while. And a little Stella, Cannonball coming. Little Stella. That's tasty. Very nice. Thank you, Ryan. That was a great idea. And I don't want to let you down. And people were like, dude, what's wrong with you? Dank, thank you for the super sticker, my friend. You can always contribute to the show, and I'm more than happy. By the way, I figured a lot of stuff out. I was working on things. I emailed everybody with a hat. So if you're a member of the Lund Loyalist Club and you didn't get an email from me, hit me up here, and I will make sure that I get your email address. That's 1. 2, the store will be up by Monday. 3, I figured out how we can have a chat with just the people who have joined so far, and it's a small number. So not only here's an incentive if you want to join, is what I'm going to do is I can put as many as I think 20 people in the room at once. And what I'll do is everybody can be in the room and we'll just do a big chat and everybody can talk and everything. So rather than, I mean, the chat is awesome, but for the people who have joined the Lund Loyalist Club, what we'll do is we'll do a thing where we're just going to sit here and talk, and you can talk too, just like I am. So we can put that many people in the room. So it's pretty cool, actually. So we'll do that. All right. Some people are not going to understand that reference, but John Holmes, you are one of one, my friend. That is, when was he around? 80s, 90s, I think, John Holmes. I mean, that's an adult film reference, and that was a male performer, and he was, man, I didn't think we were going to have that up today. I didn't think we were going to talk about that tonight, but it is night, and you never know what's going to happen. But yeah, that is an adult film reference to a 80s or 90s. It might even go back to 80s star. So anyway, yeah, that's there you go. Oh, Vegas was incredible, man. I'll have to bring some of the stuff out tomorrow for the tailgate show at noon Pacific here on the YouTube channel, John Lund Unleashed. The only problem with Vegas was, and I love Vegas, and I'm a West Coast guy my whole life, except for a few times that I moved back east to do radio. But like most people, I mean, 2-3 days, 48 hours in Vegas, plenty, right? Plenty. But I was there for 10 days with the Super Bowl. So we left on a Sunday night, and we didn't come back till we left Sunday morning to Tuesday morning last year. And then what was crazy about it was my wife, for my birthday, had bought U2 tickets to the Sphere. So we went that to that, and then the following weekend we went back. So I unpacked my bag, get home on a Tuesday or something, and we left again on Vegas on a Friday and stayed Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the U2 show at the Sphere the next weekend. So what does that make, like 2 weeks, like 14 out of 17 days I was in Las Vegas. I mean, talking about pouring yourself off the plane, it was like, no. I don't think we've been back. It's just like, and my wife and I both like going. In fact, we were debating whether we were going to go up to Reno to lay some bets tomorrow, but I was like, I'd rather hang out with people, and because I am going to just stay home, and we're going to have a little thing here, but I just figured we would just do a little bit of a tailgate show tomorrow, have a little bit of fun. And then, like I said, we'll go noon to 2, And then if you're going to a party or something like that, that gives you an hour and a half. I mean, the game doesn't start for an hour and a half. So, if you can't be in tomorrow, I totally understand that. But hell, bring your phone with you. You can watch. I mean, it's, oh yeah. But anyway, Vegas was great. It was just, you don't need to be in Vegas 14 out of 17 days. In fact, I think it's illegal. Pretty sure it was illegal. I just remember the guy driving me to the airport. I was just like, get me out of here. I did. That's exactly how I said it to him too. I was leaving. Greg and I had done a show, and the whole time it was just like, they should have won. They should have won. They should have won. If this happened, if that happened, if this happened, if that happened. And I was just like, just get me out of here. I gotta go. I mean, I just gotta go. I love your stories, man. I met this asshole at the store, Bills over Chiefs, a few weeks ago. He's going to talk as soon as I walk in a minute from now. Sorry, brother. I mean, that's the thing about betting, right? Is like, you sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail, and it's like being the nail sucks because you're just like, oh, especially at work. Like, I don't mind it if it's, if it's a friend or something, you give each other grief, whatever the case may be. But when it's at work and you see the same person all the time, and you're just like, oh. Like, I got a really good friend that's a Chiefs fan, and it's just like, I just don't want to hear it. And I've been hearing it all year. And then if they win it again, so, we talk about this all the time. Ooh, nice job, dude. All right. I got to get that. You know what? I don't have that on my board, but I will bring it. I will absolutely, and it's on me, and I should have that at all times. No doubt about it. I should have that at all times. And I'll make sure it gets on my board. In fact, I'll write it down right now. If I don't write it down, there's zero chance I'll remember it. I'm old school. I have a day planner here. Who has a day planner anymore, right? Put hot nuts on board. Okay. Because we should never not have that. I haven't played it for a long time, and I told you a long time when we started this, I said, we're not going to overplay it because we're only going to play it for situations in which it is needed. So if the Chiefs win tomorrow, do you got to hear hot nuts? Because I'm not sure I'm going to root for yet. I might not. I don't know. I'm not sure who I'm rooting for yet. I gotta wait until I sit on the couch, and then it's gonna come to me. My fan for a few days after the Super Bowl, I was not a pleasant to be around. Believe me. I mean, I had to talk about it. Problem is that everybody gets to this age where I'm not fully gray on the beard or anything like that, but there's enough of it in there where it's like it starts to come out just a little bit. It's not, I wouldn't say it's salt and pepper. It's not to that point yet, but I will, when I like, if, for example, if I would get off the air for a long time on the radio, I would, and I got lazy, let's say it was over Christmas break or something like that, and I would grow it out, and it would have, it'd be okay, but then it would just have these little patches of gray, like maybe like Draymond. And I'm just like, well, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. This was going to be a Warriors postgame and talking about Jimmy. So we are doing that. So if you want to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo, you popped in here and you're like, I see a Bulls versus Warriors logo. I see that the chalkboard says Warriors stuff on it. I see that it says NBA stuff on it. And yet they're not talking about the NBA. So if you want to go into the NBA, believe me, we're not anti-NBA. It's just tomorrow's the Super Bowl. And we're getting a little bit of a head start on the tailgate tomorrow. By the way, noon Pacific time, noon to 2. We're going to have a great time with the tailgate show tomorrow right here on this Bat channel. YouTube, John Lund Unleashed, johnlundunleashed.com, at John Lund Radio if you're watching on X or Instagram. Make sure that you are here tomorrow, noon Pacific, and we will have the tailgate show before the long pregame show, which is, by the way, going to start in like an hour and a half because it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. Plans are to drink every time the refs make a call to help the Chiefs either be drunk or completely sober. I know I don't want to have to defend the Chiefs, but I don't think they help them. But it'll be interesting. It's funny. Last year, not funny. It's not funny. It actually makes you sad. Is I thought before the game last year, and I think we talked about it in our pregame show from Las Vegas at the game, was we sat there and said, well, Jawan Taylor holds and he false starts and he does this and he does that, and because we're complaining all week, which we were last year, about officials and no calls, it's going to be different in the Super Bowl, and we're going to get calls. And we didn't. The Niners didn't, not we. They didn't. And so all week long, I've been reading articles because people must be out of things to write about anymore. And people are writing articles about, this is going to help, and everyone talking about it's going to help. Look, the officials are going to walk on the field, and they're going to do what they are going to do. So it's not going to be something where because we talked about it or media talked about it or fans talked about it, or it's not going to be in the back of their head like, well, I think I owe the Eagles some calls. Like they don't do that. It's just not that way. So anyway, get unleashed. Yeah. What's everybody doing? Like I said, I guess I'll ask this tomorrow. So we don't have to ask it tonight. We'll get into it. We'll get into it a little bit. Let's see. What else do we have on today? What else do we want to talk about? Well, we're getting some Raiders thoughts in here. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I understand how that goes. Believe me. Thank goodness for my wife. Man, I'll kill you right now. I'm going to cancel Peacock. See that? I mean, that's what you should do. I mean, I'm going to give you far more value than Peacock. Love of God, especially in the off season. I mean, you have to have Peacock for NFL. No, you don't have to. You have to have Amazon. You have to have Netflix. You have to have, what else do you have to have? Jeez, regular stuff. I mean, to watch the NFL, my God. Are they doing alternative broadcast tomorrow at all for this thing that you have to pay for? I'm still blown away that we have this. 80s or 90s. Did John ever get back to me on that? Is that 80s or 90s? I have no idea. All right. Yeah, I mean, Steve, I don't know why I still have one. It's just it's the silliest thing. And but I just I have to write it down sometimes. I mean, some people, you should see, by the way, speaking of writing it down, I think I've told you this before. Greg's boards when he does play-by-play popping, and it's funny at the Super Bowl because we're in the radio booth, as I said, and as I popped up there a little bit earlier. We're in the radio booth in Vegas, and we're probably, I don't know, 5 minutes from kick. And so, I mean, there's a lot of nervous energy in this booth. It's me and Tim Ryan and our boss, Bob Sargent, who's the 49ers director of broadcasting, and Mike Holler, who's engineering everything, and another Mike who's running literally running everything so it gets on the air. So there's, what did I just say? 6 people in this thing, and we're like 5 minutes away, and we're just buzzing around. And then Tirico comes down. Harlan's in the next booth over. All these guys. I mean, just everybody's all got this nervous energy, and there's like, we're 5 minutes away, and it's just like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. Just that moment before, like, what's going to happen. And I swear to you, all of us were in there going, and not just in a homer kind of a way. I mean, everybody was just like, they're going to win. In fact, I told you this the other day if you weren't with us. On Friday morning, we stayed in Mandalay Bay, which is a really short walk to the stadium. On Friday morning, I'm not an employee of the NFL. I'm not paid directly by the 49ers, even though I work for them. So I could do this. And so I walk to the sportsbook in there, and I got the prop sheet out, and we'll talk about props tomorrow. I got a whole prop thing, but I got the prop sheet out, and I probably did 4, 5, 6 just weird MVP things, like no Mahomes, no Brock. One was Juwan Jennings, which I was really happy about, but I'd probably put $20 a piece on some guys like that. I put on Dre Greenlaw just because, remember Malcolm Smith a few years ago? I know you hate to hear that because he got the interception after Sherman tip. But when they won that Super Bowl that year, Malcolm Smith had 2 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown. I thought maybe Dre Greenlaw could do that. He was like a gazillion to 1. Like there were some things like that. So when he got hurt, I was like, oh, that one's gone. But I mean, I had tickets like this thick on all these weird things, who would score, coin toss, all this different stuff in it. But it was all jaded. It was all tilted, obviously, towards the 49ers. Because I thought, well, what I should have done actually is I wanted the 49ers to win. I should have done all the bets on the Chiefs. So at least one way I would have won money, one way I would have won the game. I did everything on the Niners, and they lost, and I lost all the prop bets. But it was really close on Juwan. It was like, if they had won, I mean, Juwan threw a touchdown, caught a touchdown. Like I was like, Juwan's going to win the MVP. And I think he was like plus 1,600 or something like that. So that would have been nice. Really nice. Yeah, Krug is going to join me tomorrow at 12:30 as part of the Tailgate show. So I don't have him on tonight, but I will have him on tomorrow at 12:30, as well as, like I said, my Vegas betting guy. Got a couple other guys I'm going to have on the show tomorrow as well. And I might just open the phones, Lund. I might just call George down. Although, you know what? I have, since he left, let's see here. Yeah, he hasn't hit me back. I said, this was yesterday at 9:21 p.m. Make it home okay? Nothing. Just nothing. Nothing. If you're not giving a kid any money, that's it. It's just done. Imagine. Boy, Krug has gotten really good on the bulky, don't you think? I mean, Krug's bulky is out of this world. I mean, I know he's been working on it because he was never that good at it before. And now it's like, this is just yeah, that's it. That's what he does on Saturday night. What, are you kidding me? That's what he does. You know what's funny about Tim Ryan? Once the season ends, and I'm not going to say Tim and I are like going out and we're buddies, but we're friends. I consider Tim Ryan and I friends. And it doesn't matter if you're his best friend. He's really close with Papa. When the season ends, he takes his butt up to Idaho, and he doesn't. I mean, they don't even get cell service up there. I mean, he doesn't even. He's gone. But then day one of, like he'll come back for OTAs and all that kind of stuff. He's standing on the field. Like he'll talk to you then. But man, if there's nothing going on in the world of the 49ers, he is up in Idaho and he is riding, power equipment, and he is hanging out, and he's riding horses, and he's on a ranch in Idaho. And I know exactly where it is because my folks used to have a place up there as well. But when he leaves, when season's over, he's vapor, just gone. I mean, gone. There's just nothing for that. So anyway, that's what it is. Somebody said George. Let's see, what else do we got here tonight? Good time had by all. Very cool. Oh yeah, somebody bring up a Fryman reference. Very well done, man. See, I know you're a viewer. It's very cool. All right, what else? Yeah, the ads just have not been as good in the last number of years. I used to, on Mondays after the Super Bowl on my radio show, for as long as I could remember, unless your team was in there, and then you'd analyze the game itself. But if the 49ers were not in the Super Bowl, part of the analysis of Monday after the Super Bowl, you'd always, you'd throw up 4 or 5 ads, and maybe it'll be better tomorrow. Maybe I've gotten older and just less impressed. I don't know what the case may be, but they just aren't normally. They're not that great anymore. And a lot of the companies that, for years, Budweiser and everything, I think Budweiser is coming back this year, but a lot of companies are just like the heck with it, because what is it up to? Like 7 million, 8 million, and what, maybe even more a minute or something like that, or 30 seconds. Like, nah, we're good. We're good. See, at least he didn't get grief though. That's pretty good, man. No, he thinks that mustache is just great stuff, man. I don't know. I wish I had a picture to show people who don't know what we're talking about. But George was at the Super Bowl, and he did our Super Bowl coverage. He was on Media Row, my son, and did a great job this week. And he's got this mustache, and it's my wife and I talk about it all the time. We're like, when is he going to get rid of that thing? He just loves it, man. My dad for a while, George Sr. So my son is named after my dad. My dad was George. He's George. And my dad had a stash, but like in the 70s, And then the same thing, when he got older, he started to get gray, and he was like, I'm not growing some mustache. I'm not going to do that. But when mustaches were cool in like the 70s and 80s, my dad had a mustache, but it was, like, it looked like Magnum PI or something. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain what George's looks like. And my mom does the same thing. Like, I could control him. He's 21. He's 21 years old. He's going to do what he wants. My mom would call me. I just saw a picture of him on Instagram. Can you tell him to get rid of that mustache? And I was like, how am I supposed to? He's a grown ass man. Like, he's 21. I can't tell him that. He's not 15. He's not 10. Well, if he was 10 or 15 and had that mustache, it'd be a little weird. But still, I mean, it was like, he's 21. My mom's calling me. Gotta get rid of that mustache. I'm like, are you kidding? I'm not doing that. He's not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not telling him to do that. So anyway, yeah, I mean, it's not great, but he likes it. And if, he must get a reaction from it. The girls must like it or something, because, that's what guys that age live for. Like, right. When you're in college, it's just the reaction of women that you care about. See, so Joy liked it. See, and that's all that matters. Hang on. That's all that matters, is that like women like it. If women like it, that's what it stays. And so I do think that women in college at Arizona State, they must think it looks good, because he's had that thing for look like the way that it looks. He's had it for like a year. Let me see if I can pull something up really quick. I do have a video if you don't know what it looks like. Let me see if I can get a video file of something that I did with him last week. One of these promos or something. Let's see. Trying to see if I can find oh, wait, hang on. No, that's just a text from him that I had up on the show the other day. Don't know. There's Joe Montana. There's Kittle. I don't know where that promo is. Dang it. There's Jimmy. I literally am finding everything but anything with him. Let's see if I can find anything. Yeah. No, that's not it. I'm going to have to give up. No, that's not it. Jeez, how did I not? I swear, like I had all this stuff all week long that I did all these promos with him. He did say, oh, there's that promo of those guys dancing in New Orleans. That was weird. Yeah, I don't know. But because if you hadn't seen it, just you want to judge on the mustache. But yeah, I've tried to have him. I asked like one time. I'm like, it looks silly. Why don't you just get rid of it? And that's the only time I would ever ask. I'm not asking again and again and again. Kids are just like, no. Oh, this is from tonight. Yeah, I'll find it at some point. But anyway, yeah, I don't want to bore you with all this kind of stuff. But I was trying to find I'm trying to find a mustache picture of him, or a video of him that I had done, but I'm just not seeing it because I did a bunch of promos and actually one on my page. You can go on my page if you go to interviews on my page and you haven't seen the glorious mustache that he has, then you can see it there. Okay, I'm going through one more group of. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's do it. There it is. I can play tomorrow after you go to Patty O'Brien's in Bourbon Street tonight is done. Like you don't have to do anything but that. It's just crazy. And take video and everything else. So you got to go to Patty O'Brien.
So we were getting on the elevator last night to go to the media party, and the most New Orleans dude you could ever imagine in your entire life stops us as we're going, and he goes, "Oh, are you guys going to Bourbon Street?" And we're like, "Oh, we might hit there tomorrow." And he's like, "Oh, well, I'll tell you, if you want to find the real good girls, don't go to the side streets. That's where they don't have teeth." And I was like, "Oh man, they don't have teeth over there?" He's like, "Yeah, if you want the ones with teeth, go to Bourbon Street. That's where you'll find the good ones."
Give us one more like twirl. Anyway, you get the idea. There's the famous mustache. I think it looks terrible, but like I said, if the girls at Arizona State did not have a positive reaction to it, then it'd be gone. I mean, I don't think there's any question about it. And I was the same way. It's like, look, Dad, you don't understand. Like I had, I have a dopey haircut now, but I mean, when I was in college, it was really dopey, and my parents just looked at me like. And I'm like, I'm 21. You're not going to tell me how to do my hair. Just like they didn't tell me, I'm not telling him how to do, I'm not telling him how to do his mustache. It's a terrible mustache, but it's just what it is, man. That's how it is. That's silly, man. That's a silly looking mustache. All right. Anything else tonight? We tried to do a post-game show, and then we do what we always do on this show. We go into all sorts of things. We go down rabbit holes, tangents. We went ahead of ourselves and all that kind of stuff. Thanks to Ryan D. We did do the shot. Is everybody cool? Like, I mean, it's not going to hurt me. I do a whiskey. Let's do one more. Why not? Should we do one for we're on the verge of the Super Bowl? Why not? Thank you, Ryan D. Beautiful dog there. There is Dank Dank with a super sticker. Thank you, my friend, very much. And there is my great friend, John Holmes. And if you don't know that reference, I can't help you. I cannot help you, but there you go. That's what he's got. And I showed you the mustache. Just one other quick thing. Let me just throw you this one more time, just because I said I was going to do a post game. So I figured, I might as well do a post game. I'm supposed to do a post game. I said I was going to do a post game. I like to come through with what I'm going to say, but no. There's your post game. So we did do a post game, 132-111. The Warriors, but only at 500. They got to get on a roll here. 30 games to go in the season. They got to get on a roll. Jimmy was great tonight. 25 points. Did a lot of damage in that fourth quarter. 13 times to the free throw line if you're just joining us. Outstanding, and that's something that the Warriors do not have. Steph Curry, the nuts, even though he had 34, and that's really impressive, 24 in the third quarter, in which they went on a 38-11 run. They were down at the half by 14. They were down at 1 point, 83-57, and they stormed back, 38-11 run, and a total of a 56-15 run. Impress your friends at that. And it was the Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler show. Steph at the end of the third quarter and Butler at the beginning of the fourth quarter that made all that possible. So there you go. We stayed, we kind of jumped all over the place as far as the chalkboard did tonight. But what can you do? I mean, there was a lot of stuff, and everybody knows that. See, look at that. See, 12 o'clock tomorrow. Be here. Let me make sure that I show you something, impress you, because I did this today. I want to impress you. So that is tomorrow at noon. Tomorrow at noon, right here. John Lund Unleashed on YouTube. Super Bowl 59 tailgate show. right there. Yeah, there's Tom Brady in the middle there. He'll be broadcasting lots of beads and so forth. There's me, a couple of Super Bowl trophies. No big deal. But we'll be here tomorrow, noon to 2 Pacific time. Krug's going to join us at 12:30 to break everything down. I got a Vegas guy to do all the props and the things that he's going to be betting. A couple other guys are going to join us as well. I'm dotting I's, crossing T's on that. So we'll have a great time. And then bring a cocktail to the show. Bring a couple cocktails to the show. I will bring Bloody Mary mix and show you the perfect Bloody Mary way to do that. So we're going to have a great time with that. And we should have a lot of fun doing the tailgate show. By the way, one thing I wanted to mention, just because I should have done this, and you don't get credit for what you should have done, but I told you this about a month or so ago. Good friend of mine is a bartender, a great bartender at a local place. And we're going to start doing, just because I do it at the table here and it's not very professional, but I'm going to record some things with him every month. Like, okay, Valentine's Day, what's a great drinker? What's a great drinker? What's a great, and I should have done it with him for Super Bowl, but I dropped the ball on it. So we're going to do those monthly and post those. And I think that's going to be something that people are going to want to do. So just let me know on that. But as always, like I said, tomorrow at noon, thank you for joining us on somewhat of a post-game show for the Warriors, Jimmy Butler's debut post-game show. And easy to say, and it is true, they don't win this game tonight without Jimmy Butler, with 25 tonight. And that's not even really knowing what's going on. That's just veteran guys. Steph Curry scores 24 of his 34 in the third. And like I said, awful second quarter, 38-21. They were down 14, 69-55, but then a Curry flurry, 38-11, 56-15 total run. It was the Curry and Jimmy show. I showed you the schedule. It's going to be tough coming up. Anthony Davis shines, but then he gets hurt. So we're going to have to watch that one as well. The Lakers, the Mark Williams trade is off. Oh, we wanted to keep you. We love you, bro. We didn't want to trade you anyway. And then the tailgate show tomorrow from noon to 2. That's going to be on John Lund Unleashed on the podcast or on the YouTube channel. So make sure that you come to the YouTube channel because we're doing all sorts of chats. If you can only make it on X, there's nothing wrong with that. X and Instagram, nothing wrong with that. So we'll be on those 3 places. But we're doing a bunch of chatting and things like that on the YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel. Do that right now before you forget. And make sure also that you are liking, subscribing, and then you get all of the alerts on that kind of stuff as well, like tonight's show, because we wanted to do a post game for the Warriors, 132-111. All right. Do we need to do one more before we get out of here, or is everybody fine? Because, I mean, it's kind of late. And no, it's not late. It's not late at all. It's like 9:30. Do we, Mind Eraser. I used to make those for obnoxious people at the bar. Like, you know what? I want this person to go away. You'd make one of those and they'd be like, you're like, yeah, you're done. That's good. That's in retrospect, that was probably not a really nice thing to do to someone. Like just give them this because they were being a jerk or something. So anyway, yeah, we're going to, we'll do predictions tomorrow. Tomorrow, I want to make sure you this is all I'm asking you for homework tomorrow. Have a cocktail or something with you. Let's have some fun. We'll do predictions tomorrow. Who do you think is going to be the MVP? We'll have a bunch of props and things like that. So we'll go over those. We'll have some guests on the show, all that kind of stuff. So we'll have a good time tomorrow at noon. Thank you for hanging out on a Saturday night. I hope that you had a lot of fun. I hope we lightened up your night a little bit and had a little bit of fun. And it is always fun coming to the community and seeing so many people hang out. Thanks for watching on X as well. As I see all the people on X. I'm looking over on Instagram as well. Tons of people on the Instagram tonight. On Instagram tonight. Very cool. I'm just checking it. Look at that. Tons of folk on the Instagram. So make sure tomorrow that you are, thanks for tuning in over here. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully everybody was doing some stuff, having a cocktail with us. Thanks for tuning in over there on Instagram. Very cool to have everybody over there as well. So really cool. Thank you for hanging out. You're making the community bigger and better every single day. Let's have a great time tomorrow and talk about the Super Bowl. Noon Pacific tomorrow. And we'll go a couple of hours. And like I said, don't miss anything because we're going to have a bunch of great people on the show. There it is tomorrow at noon. Thanks for hanging out for the Warriors Tailgate Show, the Jimmy Butler debut edition. Warriors win it after being down big, 132-111. Make sure that you're joining. Go to johnlundunleashed.com for everything John Lund Unleashed. And make sure that you follow, subscribe, and hit that like button, John Lund Unleashed on YouTube. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at noon for the tailgate.
Thanks for hanging out with John Lund Unleashed. We'll try to be better next time, though I wouldn't hold my breath. Please like and subscribe on the John Lund Unleashed Pod YouTube channel. Watch live shows weekdays at 8 a.m. on YouTube, Instagram, and X. And make sure to have your alerts on for shows throughout the day or night. All things Lund can be found at johnlundunleashed.com. johnlundunleashed.com.
Goodbye!